Welcome to another Founder Wisdom Pod. We have a recurring guest, Leon Gordon, with us today. He's the founder and CEO at Onyx Data. We had a nice convo about a year ago talking about AI, cybersecurity, everything in between. So this one, we're gonna continue this conversation, see what's up with Leon, what's been new with him and his business, Onyx Data. This podcast is brought to you by podpair.com. If you want to start a podcast, if you want to scale one, go to podbuyer.com. Leon, welcome to the pod. Tell me a bit more about yourself, what you've been up to.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be here with you today. So, about myself, as you mentioned, I'm CEO and founder of a UK-based analytics and data analytics and AI consultancy called Onyx Data. Outside of that, I regularly contribute to Forbes as part of the Forbes Technological Council, work with Microsoft as a Microsoft MVP, and also do work with Gartner and some other publications. So, fairly busy, Charles, fairly busy.
Right. And what have you accomplished last year? VS, what are your goals this year?
I mean, probably our biggest accomplishment of last year was successfully navigating into a new region. So we're now working a lot more in the Middle East, predominantly in Dubai, the UAE. So that's been really a fantastic accomplishment for us and something that we really had high on our list of goals. The actual region's going through a fantastic digital transformation at the moment and looking to become a leading hub in AI. So it's amazing to be a part of that.
Sure. And this year, what are your top three goals?
I mean, for us, it's really about bringing data and AI to organizations and to individuals as well. So really taking companies on this journey in terms of how can we be data driven? How can we adopt these AI technologies? For example, Gen AI, which everyone's talking about. Everybody's been using ChatGPT for it seems like over a year now, but not many organizations are actually finding use cases to implement these type of technologies. And when they do, it's about implementing them securely. Now, similarly to this, one of our goals is to help individuals as well to get up to speed and be able to go on a journey to embrace these tools, becoming data driven. And then, like I say, being able to leverage technologies like AI. Outside of that, I have personal growth goals that include growing Onyx, obviously, and continuing to grow myself as a leader as well.
Love that. What are you seeing this year in terms of AI advancement? Seems that the hotness has cooled down since a couple of months.
I think we're still going full flow. I would probably say that the hype has cooled down a little bit. So we're still getting lots of releases, lots of new news, and lots of technological advancements as well. We're also seeing a consolidation across a lot of these, for lack of a better word, LLM builders, foundational model builders. So we just recently saw this with Microsoft, with the circle, shall we say, that Microsoft had with OpenAI, and also the fact they've just onboarded the majority of the Inflection team as well. So what we're starting to see is those people that are trying to productize this application aren't being able to compete with some of the larger organizations. So we're seeing a consolidation, collaboration, and onboarding happening there. So I expect this to continue throughout the year.
Right. And on your side, has your business model changed? Tell us how you get clients and what are you aiming for in terms of finances this year?
Absolutely. So our business model hasn't changed really. So we still operate predominantly in the professional services space. So this is the consulting aspect, the training, and the advisory aspect. Now we partner with a lot of organizations, Microsoft being one of them, and that's generally how our work comes in. And we also get a lot of referrals. So we don't tend to do a lot of outbound marketing to onboard new customers, and we don't have a large customer base either. It's something that we once we have clients, we like I say, we partner with them and continue to be a firm part of their growth.
And how do you get these new clients, generally speaking?
As I mentioned, really, it's through doing good work for existing clients and getting referrals, and then partnering with other organizations. Like I say, this is generally technology vendors that we then go and deliver their solutions for as well.
Right. And at that rhythm, how much new clients can you onboard on a yearly basis?
I mean, for us, we tend to look at between 4 and 8. Now, some of these are short-term engagements, some of them are much longer term, but that's really a good sweet spot for us at the moment. As we continue to grow and expand, I expect that to continue to scale as well. But I'm sure that we'll start to diversify our business model as we start to hit some of our targets.
Right. These partners, who are they? How do you find them out?
Sometimes they find us. So, for example, Microsoft is a key partner of ours. Databricks. Outside of that, we also work with a company called AimPlan, and we're looking at other organizations like Snowflake as well. So, some of them we tend to go and find. So, in terms of what our clients have a need for, the different technologies to leverage. So, our skill set is generally across AI and data technologies. So, end-to-end solutions. Now, generally, these can apply to any technology. Obviously, we have a level of expertise, particularly with Microsoft technologies. But with our experts on our team, we're able to actually go and become multi-vendor specialists as well.
Your AI tech stack, has it changed since last year? What tools are you using on a daily basis that prepare your growth through productivity that are AI based?
Absolutely. I mean, for myself personally, I probably use copy.ai quite a bit. Perplexities would be a new tool because it's fairly new to the market as well. But definitely from a research perspective, Perplexity is a great tool. Outside of that, Microsoft Copilot, it just integrates really well with the Microsoft stack if you're a Microsoft Windows user. And there's probably a few niche tools outside of that, but I'll hold some back for next year. In terms of our actual delivery, for clients, we generally tend to use the Azure stack.
Are you still getting a bunch of speaking gigs this year? And do these also come as organic?
Yes, absolutely. So I've just got back not too long ago from Dubai in Malaysia for speaking at conferences, and I'll be doing the same again in a couple of months' time. Outside of that, quite a few virtual engagements, onboarding. One of the main changes this year has been that I've actually partnered with a lot of speaking bureaus and agencies. Now, these agencies and bureaus onboard me as a keynote speaker, and then they find partners that I go and deliver keynote speaking from. So it's not as organic nowadays. LinkedIn is still predominantly the main channel for inbound keynote speaking events, but we now have speaker agencies that book on our behalf as well.
Right. So the market is still hot for AI speakers. You get probably 10 to 20 gigs per year, or is that too much?
Absolutely. The market's definitely very hot at the moment, and I would say it's a great time to put your technical expertise out there, market yourself.
Right. And when you speak, what topics do you go with normally? And do most of these come from you, or is it the client's request? Is it 80% Leon and 20% client, or vice versa?
Absolutely. I mean, every talk really comes from me and my expertise. We're quite fortunate that data and AI translates to a lot of different industries. So, for example, the last event I spoke on was regarding human resources, and the next event that I will speak on will be regarding supply chain and manufacturing sustainability. So it translates really well. Obviously, I have real world experience with these different industries as well, which definitely helps. And I work with the organizers to really tailor a niche down to ensure that it's an experience that the conference goers want to have. So I would say it's probably 95% myself and then a bit of fine tuning with the actual conference organizers.
Seeing you recruiting on your website here, who are you recruiting for nowadays?
We're always open for top tier talent. Now, generally, this, like I mentioned before, is we are a Microsoft house. So this is always going to be on the Microsoft data platform. We tend to look for both senior and mid-level architects and engineers from a data perspective, but we're always readily open to receive CVs from people that are open to moving to a fast growing startup like ours, which puts remote first, but also we treat our consultants like the experts they are.
How do you treat PR and content nowadays?
Really interesting. So, same as before, really, I would say that we put a lot of time and effort into building out not only the brand of the company, but my personal brand that runs alongside it as well. So, it's a key cornerstone of our content strategy is to ensure that we have that personalized message coming out.
Right, because I see you're on a lot of podcasts. What's your strategy to make the greatest impact on all pods that you're being invited to?
To be authentic, to speak from the heart, really, to get my point across in terms of the questions that I'm being asked, and to not come prepared, as you well know, Charles. So I like to do things on the fly. Like I say, it really makes the message that I'm trying to put across resonate with the audience, I hope.
Right. Okay, AI. What has significantly changed in the industry since that last time that we spoke? If I'm an AI startup, can I still get across like easy funding? Should I build my own LLM? What has changed since last time we spoke?
I think that probably what's changed is we probably have more AI experts now than ever before in history, which is both a good and a bad thing. Um, with that being said, I think for a startup, VC funding has probably dropped fairly significantly. I think we saw quite a large spike from that perspective, and that's now tailed off, and funding is becoming more difficult to get. Now, with that being said, absolutely, you can still go and make an AI-driven product today that I'm sure will be sustainable for the next 5, 10, maybe even 20 years. But really, it's about finding a niche and a problem that your product solves, which isn't just generally available by a large language model like Mistral, Grok, or Gemini, or these other foundational models. Now, I probably wouldn't suggest to go and train your own LLM. To be honest, there's plenty of LLMs available out there, both smaller in size and like the likes of ChatGPT 4 as well, that you can just plug and play and fine tune for your own specific needs.
Right. Your day to day nowadays, what does it look like?
Great question. Every day is very different at the moment. So I can let you be one of the first to know. I'm spending this week recording a LinkedIn learning course. So literally every day is currently filming, and that's expected to be released in June of this year. Outside of that, generally it's meetings, looking at how we can work on the business at Onyx, and really trying to fine tune the messaging we're putting together and to get better and better every day. Sometimes this takes a case of just some downtime and brainstorming. And other times this is full on with clients and with our team.
I believe there's been strong advance in robotics, AI. We've seen Optimum from Tesla. I believe we've seen advances again at Boston Dynamics. What have you seen in the world of robotics and AI since last time we spoke?
Absolutely. This is such an exciting space to watch develop. I think that across the board, the community is pretty much split in half on this in terms of will robotics ever get to the lofty heights that we're expecting it to be, and these humanoids being able to support us in our day-to-day roles. I think we're seeing significant leaps forward. We've seen the developments, like you mentioned, with companies like Boston Dynamics over the years, and now we're seeing the implementation of GPTs into this technology as well. So I think we're really hitting the next phase, and I'm keen to see how we can overcome some of the hurdles. So some of the main hurdles that we see is with power consumption. Power consumption is a really, really key obstacle to overcome when working with robotics. So it's going to be interesting to see how we navigate that, and also the amount of sensors that are required to power these humanoids as well. There's going to be a few obstacles that need to be maneuvered, but I'm keen to see where we are in a year's time with this tech.
And what would be your top three AI predictions for this year?
Oh, great question. What will be so? I would like to be able to say that I'm going to predict there to be some massive, what's what I'm looking for, leaps forward in legislation. We're seeing some movement towards frameworks being put into place that they're not solid enough from my perspective. So I'd like to see some significant improvements in this space. Outside of that, really continued integration into our day-by-day lives. I think we're seeing that already, and I expect this to become much more widespread. And the other element I'd like to see is training. I think that there's not enough training in place to really bridge the gap that's becoming quite mammoth now in terms of users, adopters, And especially from an organization perspective, how do I go from I'm just using Excel to input my information to wow, now we're fully fledged with AI. It's okay for an organization to go on that journey at a leadership level, but you have to take all of your staff with you. And I expect there to be some leaps forward there.
When do you think that Neuralink will actually become a thing?
Good question. This seems like a really loaded question because again, humanity's split on the route forward here. So I would probably approach this in a two-pronged approach. When do I think it will become a thing that makes people stand up and say, "Hey, actually, we need to make a choice here, whether this is politically correct for humanity to move forward with this type of technology and the implications of it." I expect that to come this year. Once we start to have more conversations going down that route across the next maybe 3 to 5 years, then I expect there to be the second phase, which depending on how that plays out, it potentially does become a thing where it becomes an option. I wouldn't say an upgrade, so to speak, but it becomes an option, not just for people with disabilities.
Love it. Well, thank you for that rapid fire, Leon. Where can people find out more about you?
LinkedIn is absolutely the best place. So just search Leon Gordon on LinkedIn. Outside of that, you can come and see my company at onyxdata.co.uk. And they also have my website, which is leongordon.co.uk.